Hi, I'm Billy McCord and welcome back to my channel. Every year, around the time of the Atlanta Woodworking Show, a friend of mine has a large gathering for makers at his shop. This year he mentioned he'd like to have an outdoor bar for the occasion. Stick around for this limited tool and limited budget project. As always, read, know, and understand the safety rules regarding your equipment. Don't do anything that you're not comfortable with just because you saw a bunch of guys on the internet do it. I started out by cutting out and assembling a basic 2x4 frame. Joel had a pretty nice stock of number 2 cedar as well as some treated 2x4s to serve as material for the project. This was just a quick project built on the fly with no plans, but it's approximately 5 feet wide, 18 inches deep, and 42 inches tall. This piece of furniture was built with one use in mind. We weren't sure whether it would get dismantled afterwards or what its fate might be, so we didn't put any glue in there, just screws and nails. The underlying structure of the bar might be a little overbuilt, but it needed to be heavy enough to be leaned on and moved around without coming apart. Hey look, it's none other than Izzy Swan. Check out Izzy's channel. Just search for Izzy Swan on YouTube. I just cut some quick L-shaped legs for the front and straight 2x4 legs for the back. And here I'm using the all-new patent-pending Izzy butt clamp. Here the Izzy Assist attachment is being demonstrated. Took a break for dinner and then jumped back on the project. Here I'm attaching the back legs. Next I cut out some small short braces to keep the legs separated at the right distance at the bottom. Notice I used a scrap to measure how far forward the leg struts needed to be to allow for a front brace. Here I was just checking the measurement so that it's the same at the top and bottom. Then installing the proper length front brace. I cut down some number 2 cedar to the right length for the top. I chalked a straight line on the filler strip I'm going to use between the two wider boards so that I could follow the line and cut a relatively straight piece. I measured over equal distance, chalked a second line, and then cut the board into a parallel strip. Using some scrap as spacers, I lined up each of the boards and nailed them down with some long finish nails. I wanted to pull these joints as tightly as I could together, so I used a bar clamp to pull the joint together in the middle and then nail it all down. The next morning, I jumped back on the project and cut down some cedar pieces for the skin of the outside of the bar. I just rough cut these because I could use the small circular saw to trim them off evenly at the bottom once I had them all nailed in place. Here I'm nailing down the pieces that I've already cut, getting them as square as possible. Noticed I used a little scrap to determine the overhang I needed so that I could skin the side of the bar as well. Izzy stopped by and helped me with some of the skin pieces, and we very quickly finished up the outer skin. Another chalk line allowed me to cut a straight line across the bottom. Just a rinse and repeat of the process on both ends. We decided the piece needed a little more texture, so Izzy jumped in and took some of the offcuts and cut some trim pieces for the bottom. We even cut and tacked on a couple of little breadboard ends. Izzy also cut some battens down and I applied those to the project to give it even more texture. The finish had about 24 hours to cure before the party so that it could stand up to the moonshine test.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to go down the line like Charlie Sheen. You get all of them. This is real smooth.
Sterling Davis brought around plenty of shine to sample and served as the honorary bartender for the evening. Pictured here you see Izzy Swan, Chad Grossclaws from Mancrafting, and Ken Moon from Moon Pie Creations. I've actually been out of the shop for about the last year and hope to be getting back to content production. If you enjoyed this project, please click like and subscribe and watch this channel for new content.